Rob, you heard part of the conversation. Do you want to jump in on any
Yeah,
of it?
yeah, I'm happy to help with this transition because I love what Andrew was talking about. I was, first of all, being someone in naturopathic medicine for over 20 years now myself, when it wasn't a popular area to be in healthcare, as you know, going into natural plant-based culinary, vegan, vegetarian cooking and food as medicine, starting point of our healing process. That was 18 years ago. Again, not a popular play by the traditional allopathic community or medical community, and but it's one of those things where when you're on that right path, you just keep going forward, and being part of the cannabis community, plant medicine community for so many years. At the same time, 18 years of being in the dietary supplement natural products as a doctor and as an expert. I love what Andrew was saying about education comes first. We got to bridge the gap. We got to get the doctors engaged. We've been doing this. I've been obviously, as you know, an advocate, an educator on stage wherever I can be, not ever selling anything of my own, but really just promoting other people, and products of quality. So again, I appreciate all that Andrew was talking about and his efforts to deliver high quality products to the people that need it. That's always going to be our takeaway.
Thank you. And thank you, Andrew, for your time with the presentation. If anybody has any questions on how to get a hold of Andrew and his company, you can always reach out to CANNAWorldExpo.com. We'd be happy to make that connection. So
thank you, Denise.
now,
thank you, Jessica. Appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Doc.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, and we're gonna. I just want to say, the whole idea of what the integration and, the sourcing of the ingredients, kind of the whole quality of formulation, that we don't have any, even the water filtration you mentioned, that's important in growing plants and healing herbs. All these things is what got me passionate and kind of, came to where I'm here today to really talk about a little bit, which is all the way down to the soil, all the way down to the farming practices of how we look at our nutritional levels and our health. And, one of the biggest words right now out there is regenerative agriculture, regenerative farming. It's no longer just good enough to grow things and then harvest it. It's, wait, what do we do for the soil, for the healing parts of the earth to keep that process alive and vibrant and supportive? It's a whole ecosystem. And I think a lot of times, I know you know this, Andrew, and others that are watching, we get kind of above it all, but we're really very much connected to it, and so everything from the mushroom world, the fungi, plants, bacteria, even as we deal with COVID, viruses, and how our body reacts to them, this is all interacted and integrated together. And I think the more we get on that, mindset that we're all in this together kind of mentality. That was kind of my theme today. So I'm wearing my One Love t-shirt, one love for everybody out there. And just trying to connect the dots. For me, it's always been, I went to the body, how the body works, how we fuel it nutritionally, how we can supplementally support it, how we can do other lifestyle, like Andrew said, lifestyle change, it's a different mindset. I'm happy to hear these comments being said out there. I've been preaching it out there for close to 20 years. So it's wonderful when we hear from a whole different cross-platform dynamic of people from different experiences. And I know that cannabis itself was a major influencer here. It was a catalyst to waking up to people the power of the plants. And we know, I've been using herbal medicine and plant medicine for so many years, but the power of cannabis has hit mainstream. It's quite significant. And so for me, it's always been, how do I, what can I do to support this movement? As a naturopath, gut health was very important, was very key. Digestive health, it starts in the gut. That's why I always want to give it the cleanest, highest quality, nutritious foods. And, after a while, it's like, okay, now we got the gut health and how the body physiologically works. Now we know how, we got to fuel it with the right foods and supplements. And then it became like, okay, wait, why are we needing so many supplements? Obviously, I preferred whole food-based supplements, but why did we need so many supplements? Why can't we? Everyone said, well, I can't just get it from my diet. And then I started looking at the soil and how the soil connected to this. And we've, in a lot of places, depleted the soil quality and don't grow food the right way. We grow it on a national or global level sometimes instead of that local level. And in that goal of spreading it out and selling it to a wider market, the quality suffers. So in my journeys, I was fortunate to meet a lot of different people, and a lot of great companies, a lot of great products, and I've always enjoyed, being part of that, seeing um, where the industry is always innovating and becoming better, and learning how to use science and nature interchangeably, and to support the overall goal of better living, which is, kind of my moniker with my podcast, Concierge to Better Living. There's no arrogance of perfect health or a perfect way of doing anything for any individual. It's just a matter of doing things better. So today, and I appreciate the opportunity as always to be on these events and try to educate and bridge some information. Today, I go back to one of my early days in my career. It was probably close to 18 years ago, and it was one of those nights dinners that I remembered so vividly that it was in Atlanta. I remember where we were sat. I remember who was at the table. It was like yesterday. And I got to meet this wonderful Australian couple who were masters at fermentation. And I met them with Donna Gates, who was one of my mentors from the body ecology diet and digestive health and fermentation expert. And Selena DeLongre from Celtic Sea Salt. We were having dinner together, and we're talking about probiotics, because that's how I really got into the career, was teaching about probiotics and the beneficial bacteria and how they work interchangeably in our digestive tract, and how there are some bacteria that are really great in the soil and agriculture, and different bacteria play different roles. And that just was an amazing fascination. And I helped to educate the natural channel, the natural products industry, around probiotics about 18 years ago with a small company named Garden of Life. And, it was a great honor to go around and teach and learn and exchange ideas. But I met this couple at this dinner, and they're from Australia, and they were doing a lot of the fermentation for Donna's products, and they did some for Garden of Life. And they started talking about some of their other products. And they said they have something that's good for this, something of that. And they said, but our favorite thing is we have something for the soil. I said, really? Good bacteria for the soil that makes things just grow better. That's the bottom line. It's not making any crazy claims, but everything in the soil gets healthier, and the soil, everything just grows better, whether it be grass, whether it be vegetables, whether it be flowers, you name it, whatever you're growing, it makes the soil just overall react because of its fermenting, their proprietary bacterial blend, and how it just made the soil vibrant. And of course, this was 18 years ago, and they happened to mention at dinner that, being they were an Australian company, that there had already been successful stories in the High Times Cannabis Cup in Amsterdam using this product. Now, again, cannabis wasn't as popular as it is today. Of course, this was 18 years ago. But for me, growing up 10 minutes outside of where Woodstock in '69 happened, that to me was like a ding, ding, ding. Let me put that in the back of my mind. Okay. Long story short, fast forward, I now have negotiated and have exclusive North American and Caribbean rights to this amazing soil conditioner, plant food, nutrient, fermented kind of liquid. So it got me so excited. And of course, we've been doing studies. We've been doing tests. We just did a research study using hemp, which we're going to be getting published shortly. We did studies growing cucumbers and other vegetables side by side. And every time, just amazing results. So today I'm here because I just believe that we got to start in the foundation of things. We got to support soil health, whether you're growing, for your flowers, whether you have plants outside, whether you're growing cannabis, if you're in a place that's legal to do so. This is something that we've had some great successes. One of the best things this product was for is for shock. So I have people like spending a lot of my time in Arizona, said some growers up in Flagstaff area growing amazing outdoor cannabis, and they had an unexpected frost come in, and next thing you know, the plant's frozen up, and they're worried that it's going to die. They hit the roots with this product, and it was amazing. They said it came back healthier, stronger, more vibrant than ever before. So I'm going to share my screen. Denise, thank you so much for putting together this PowerPoint template with me. Thank you to my partner, Lori, for helping me tweak it a little bit. Let me share my screen and see what I can bring up. Where would it be? Of course, it's too much open on my computer. Here we go. Sorry, another talk I was just giving at the Whole Plant Expo, which is actually online all this month, called Cannabis is Food. So
we can see it just fine, Doc Rob.
Got it. Great. Let's see. So basically, this is where we're at today, CANNA World Expo. It is November already, quite amazing. The 7th, time is surely flying. 2020 is ending, and not soon enough for some, but we're grateful to be here today. I am, as always. For those that don't know me, I know I just gave you a long-winded introduction. My name is Doc Rob, Dr. Rob Streisfeld, naturopathic doctor, chef, author, host, and just passionate person about feeling good and loving life. So this is the product I was mentioning. Right now we're represented out on the retail side. Things as Jungle Flora. That we do have some other products, available as well in a similar space. This is, as I said, it's imported from Australia. And this is NASAA certified organic, which is comparable to our USDA organic. Actually, maybe a little more stringent in some cases. So this was certified organic and used for organic farming, which is great. We also had it. It's already also approved for use in organic farming by the National Organic Program by the USDA, and I'm right now in the process of recertifying an OMRI. It has been OMRI in the past, but recertifying it now as we're doing a rebrand specifically on this size, probably our most popular size product, but at the same time doing a little bit of a rebrand. I just did, we're bringing some new products to the market, but we also have it available in larger sizes, the 5-gallon totes, 1,000-liter totes for those big farmers. I'm getting some hemp farmers. That's why we're redoing the OMRI right now and some other certifications, because I have a lot of interest from hemp farmers, myself included. Right now, I'm in the process of setting up a hemp farm project in New York. But what I'm here to really share about today, which is exciting, which is the packets that we put together. These are a really cool idea that I think, mainly because they're 4.20 ounces, and yes, I did that for fun from a marketing standpoint, and it does work as a plant food, a soil conditioner, well beyond cannabis, but for all sorts of, I have award-winning orchid growers in Denver and other, just raving about it. And I don't claim anything crazy as far as it's miracle or it does this. And even still, I know there's a lot of professional growers out there that'll question, okay, what's the ratio, the NPK value. I have this product. We just did some testing on another one. I have some COAs, so I can always help with that. But this helps promote worm populations and outdoor use. It helps faster growth in plants, larger, healthier blooms. One of my favorites is it revives tired and sick plants, and naturally helps to reduce pests. But I love the conditioning your soil. So no matter what, I always say that it's one thing to grow something in soil, but what happens if you grow something in that same soil over and over again? You're depleting all, and you're not taking care of it. You're not conditioning it. You're not revitalizing it. You're going to run out of good product. What you're growing has become weaker and weaker, less nutrient dense, less healthier. And so I've always believed in this conditioning of the soil to improve its overall health. And that's part of regenerative farming, where we want to look at farming in a full holistic manner. We want to take care of the soil. We want to take care of the environment. We want to be sustainable. We want to use composting. We want to be, reduce our waste. These are all good practices that I hope everyone's thinking about these days, especially with cannabis or any other in hemp, and that, same thing, but if you're growing either type of cannabis. So for that, that's all I wanted to talk about was this harmony, this synergy of healthy soil with the bacteria, with the mycorrhizal, the fungal, the fungal characteristics, and the chemistry, the micronutrients, the water quality. This is all key, not just to cannabis growing, but to our health in general, to the foods that we eat, to the way we grow our herbal nutrition. This is why it's so critical. And you may not be a big farmer with hundreds of acres, and that's okay, and don't need the big 1,000-liter tote. But I wanted to do something today because I really appreciate what Denise and Jessica and everyone here, at this group, and everyone that comes on and shares their information. So I want to put together a little bit of a sweet gift or promo for everyone. So you go to pestfreeproducts.com, which is our distributor right now. We're building out a new website right now with a rebrand and the updates, but that'll be for the new year. But right now, through the end of this year, I created this Jungle Flora kit. And the kit is because I felt that I walk into Home Depots and Lowe's and nurseries, and I see a lot of these plastic jugs. So, and I'm like, Pest Free Products has it too. There's some things that it requires, and hopefully all things of these plastic jugs will one day be made from hemp plastic and be more eco-friendly. And I'm all about that. But here, what we did was we created a kit, and first and foremost, each of these packets, as I said, makes a gallon of organic soil conditioning plant food nutrients. Okay, so it's a little packet. It's a concentrated liquid. So the idea was to rip a packet, put in a jug, add a gallon of water, shake it up, and now you can use it both on the soil, at the roots, foliarly, on the leaves. It's really safe for the plants. It's just really good boost. And but instead of selling 4 jugs or 3 jugs at a time, I sell the packets, and the packets are like salad dressing packets. So I thought it was a much better way, especially when you're talking about shipping, because usually you're diluting it with water, so you have so much water weight that you're shipping, and maybe it's not we filtered our water when we're selling it, but it's still let the grower do this. And also, most growers today, they don't have the strength to carry a caseload of gallon jugs, so I wanted this to be convenient. So each kit comes with 3 of these packets, a free empty gallon jug, and a free remote sprayer, and that makes over 3 gallons of organic quality, high quality soil conditioner. And that normally sells for $24.95 in a lot of hardware stores and nurseries and things of that nature. But because of this great group here, and because we're in this rebrand process through the rest of this year, if they use that promo code on top, the CWEJF 2020 at checkout time, they could get 3 extra packets. Each of them sell around $8.95 retail, so that's $26.85. And then $5 extra bonus will be taken off at discount at the checkout as well. So the whole thing, over 6 gallons of health qualities, soil conditioning, organic product. I'm just going $19.95 plus shipping, and that's really awesome because you can reuse that same jug. We're not wasting the plastic. So I just wanted to offer that to everyone out there. If you know anyone that's growing, maybe it's buy it now and save it for the spring if you're depending on where you're growing. If you're going to winter times, if you're doing some indoor, growing, again. And then just wanted to bring this out to everyone and give them an opportunity. Obviously, we're getting to more stores with this. It has a great. I'll give you some pictures of it. We'll stop sharing. So you got me back on. So it comes. I have like 12 display case. These are the packets. Really neat. Really simple. And I have a lot of stores that have those zip strips, and they plug it right next to the seeds. And really easy. Pack, pour it in, boom, you're good to go. There's a gallon, and it's high quality. And that's where it starts, people. It's the soil and the health and the nutrition of the soil that we grow our plants and our foods in. And so, again, I appreciate the time today to share that information and to, talk a little bit about this area. And of course, open to questions. And like I said, just wanted to do something. Maybe buy it for $19.95 and give it to someone that is a grower as a holiday gift. But it doesn't weigh a lot, which is cool. But there's a lot of value in it. So. That's what I'm here on a casual Saturday today, in a rainy Florida day. Just thinking about getting outside, already thinking about spring and growing, and So thanks for being. I'm always just love coming on this and sharing information, and not usually pitching a specific product. It's not my style necessarily, but in this case, I love it. I believe in it. I use it, and have had success with it for years. So I think that if everyone gives it a shot and tries it out, I'm sure they're going to enjoy it as well. And we just did a research study, Denise, with some hemp that we're working on, this New York project. It's super exciting, and it's so that you definitely want to dilute it. That always that model of more is better. it doesn't always apply. We compared plain water, we compared a modest amount of this, and then we a more concentrated amount, and the modest amount worked better. It doesn't have to be using a lot to make a big impact. Just a little bit of nutrient boost can go a long way. So I just think that was something that we really found by doing the research, that you don't always need, just like I say with CBD, you don't, or anything like that, you don't always need a lot to have an impact to the physiology or to the health environment and the ecosystem. So it's cool.
I really appreciate that you can speak to so many different topics, from organic growing to organic foods. You're a chef, you're a master formulator. You just have such a huge range of skills in this industry, and what you bring is literally amazing. How are your plants doing? Because I saw them earlier on in the year, like maybe spring, summer. I know you use the product.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, right now, it's funny. I was talking to Lori, my wife. If it wasn't pouring outside and there's going to be a hurricane supposedly coming through tomorrow and Monday, we've actually broken most of it down because of the hurricane and brought a lot of it inside. Late summer is a little bit challenging. You get a little very hot here with the hurricanes to have anything outdoors. We have a little greenhouse, but yeah, it was amazing. We got the aloe. It's funny because I took a picture on Instagram, and anyone that's not, that's out there, check me out. The Twitter's Doc Rob and Instagram Doc Robs with an S. But the aloes, I literally have to get more pots and more soil because it's coming out of the containers right now, and that's one of my favorite things to grow. And have the lemongrass outside. I heard that was mentioned earlier. The mosquitoes here in the summer, I always have lemongrass growing. I have neem, but yeah, everything is growing great. As I said, I yearn for spring. Right now, we're in the process, as you know, we're raising some funds. We're setting up a research institute and going to raise capital, setting up a greenhouse and doing some amazing cannabis research plans for New York. So that's really my focus right now. And it's like I said, I've worked with so many great companies, done so many great things, have such a lot of hats. Now I'm going into more farming and scientific research. It's interesting because I came from like the body and then the supplements, the products, and then slowly my life is going like down to single ingredients to now it's the soil to like the micro. It's crazy. It's going back. It's deeper down, like this deep dive into where this all begins. And I really believe the soil is critical. Our water quality is critical. The environment. This is a big topic for us all. The environment, how we're going to sustain and. My farm that we're buying and the property is just about 2.5 hours out of New York City. And right now with COVID, everyone's talked about the exodus and everyone's leaving New York. And, those type of areas with farmland and agriculture are in such big demand right now, not just in New York, but around the country, because people realize how important knowing where your food comes from, being able to grow your own food or have access to freshly grown fruits and vegetables, to having that kind of, and even medicine, like to have know your source and your supplier of a reliant medicine, a plant medicine like cannabis. These are all really becoming more critical for us, and we all recognize that you can't rely on, shipping it always necessarily to Amazon or the mail or anything like that. If people need their food and some of this fresh produce locally, and I'm hoping to do that, provide some of those tools and some of that innovation that I've been researching for all these years. I'm putting it to good work now and kind of bringing it all together. And we're even talking about a Doc Rob's, CPG line, a consumer product line, a brand of health foods and health products. And I never really thought about that, in the last 16, 17, 18 years to do my own again. But I have some really cool ideas and some formulas. And I think I don't know. It might be fun. I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I've done it with so many other companies and helped so many other brands grow that I think a lot of my friends and circle are saying, dude, it's time. Let's do this. Let's make, So we'll see. 2021 is going to be exciting no matter what happens. And I'm just happy to be part of this and, appreciate, being on this. I saw Big Marvin earlier, I came in and popped in to see Marvin, my man talking, and I love that guy, and, a lot of friendly faces. So,
thanks, Doc Rob. This kind of comes full circle, because about a year ago we were on your show and we were talking about what we had discovered with contamination in coconut coir. And indoor growers use coconut coir as soil replacement because it's really good for root development. Oh. And what we found was there's no standardization in the industry whatsoever, and pathogenic mold was in the coconut coir. which is creating, all sorts of problems, use of fungicide. It was, it just creates a lot of problems in the cannabis industry in particular. So when you're talking about pathogenic molds and you're talking about all this, and pests, and we tried to do a grow. It started outdoors and then it came indoors because it's Nevada, right? It's friggin' hot in the summer. And now, I mean, literally, it just turned into winter during this broadcast. This is crazy.
I lived in Arizona for years. I had the drive an hour and you're a whole different world right there for sure.
So what do you recommend? Because then we had gnat blooms, we had white fly blooms. I mean, what do you recommend for soil in order to get it conditioned well enough and to get the pests out of it?
Right. That's a great question. And honestly, we just did, as I said, a first round of specifically for that purpose. We're still kind of evaluating some of the best soils. I use some of the germination soils, definitely organic, got to keep it clean. But we just started doing some evaluation. That's what the whole idea of the research center is. It's kind of everything from the ground on up, because the other thing, our focus was that, hemp, for those that don't know, and bamboo and others actually remediate and help pull chemicals and toxins and heavy metals out of the soil through its growing process. That's why you need to have good soil to begin with. So we are actually looking at how we can work the best using things like hemp growing with some of our products. The thing about our product line, not beyond Jungle Flora, but some of our research and our industrial side, is we're able to bioremediate petroleum, gas spills, oil spills, some heavy metals out of the water, out of the soil, using this same fermented soil conditioner product. Slightly different blend and potency, but we're able to do this naturally with an organic product. So we're going to be doing a lot of land repair research, soil repair research, how to clean and fix damaged soil and polluted soil, brownfields. Like, this is where my passion now has come, like, all around. I remember when I worked with Garden of Life, it was soil-borne organisms. That's how my career started with, what bacteria were started in the soil, that some which we could consume and some which we shouldn't consume can affect our whole environment and our health. This is how my career started professionally with that. And now I'm going back to the soil, and not only for growing, but to actually repair and rejuvenate and revive damaged soil in the most clean way. Because of what happened, Denise, is a lot of times you have a damaged soil spot, or even an old gas station they want to knock down, and they can't develop it because there's oil and petroleum and other hazardous materials in the land. But if they want to develop it, they have to actually, most cases, dig it out, like pay to dig it out deep, like several feet down, and truck it out, and then pay to dump it in a hazardous location, which is expensive to damage because it's a toxic substance. Our products actually can repair and clean the soil and the products on site. So they don't have to even truck it, they don't have to move it, they don't have to pay to replace it with new soil. So we can do it just using these natural organisms and the natural bacteria that actually are designed to clean the soil in the first place. So this is what has got me so jazzed in the next career, because it's so the next thing. It's the foundation of everything else. And I can grow better food, better herbs, make new supplements, make new smoothies with my vegetables from my garden. Like, that's what we all should be striving for, is that Earth, Mother Earth, and really going back to that as the foundation. And I love what you guys do with that Cocoa Core and that investigative report. I talked about it. I shared as much as I could, because it's right in front of us, but but those microorganisms that is so small, those molds are so small, we don't see the problem. And that's something that we have to kind of acknowledge, that sometimes it's so small, but it's right there in front of our eyes. And getting some regulations, some standardization, some better quality, starting materials. Don't cut those corners when you're growing, especially if you're growing for medicine or medicinal purposes. Like, these are things that, even like I said, Andrew said, we don't want industry to cut corners. We want to have standardization. We want to have quality in our formulas, and that's from the top down and bottom up.
And we appreciate what you're talking about, because in our research in the contaminated coconut core, I mean, we had to follow the breadcrumb trail all the way back from farms that we had visited to figure out, okay, where's this starting? Where's the mold problem starting, and where are the heavy metals coming in? And when it comes down into the amendments of what you're growing in, And on top of that, what we found is one of the dirtiest brands of the top 5 that were analyzed, it was supposed to be certified by a reputable organization in Europe as certified organic and pure. And clearly it's not if it's got pathogenic mold in it, and that's going to hurt people. It's going to hurt the harvest. It's going to hurt the investors. It's going to hurt everybody in the life cycle of it. So with the standardization and everything that you're doing through research to advance this industry and really make sure that everything is pure, we're just behind you 100%.
Yeah, and it's, I appreciate it. And it's just, again, a lot to go. I mean, the kit was more consumer friendly. I just wanted people to start realizing the value, the importance of when, if you're going to grow your own, vegetables, your own cherry tomatoes. I always think about my grandma whenever I think of that. Like, I want it to be grown with the best soil. I was fortunate enough to grow up in the Catskills in the upstate New York. We had amazing soil in our in our area. I do some research in Jamaica and some agricultural projects down there. The soil is amazing, and it just you start to appreciate that basis. Just like they say that the Emerald Triangle up in California. It's, those are that we see what comes from that, the best of the best, and whatever you're growing, it's really important to have that as the foundation. And I'm super excited. Like I said, our first research paper has been completed. It's now in the process of being submitted to academic journals. And that's a whole new paradigm when how we're going to look at cannabis and hemp, and I'm super excited to move that project forward. And again, opening to collaboration with those groups and people that are interested in joining on and supporting this movement. Because listen, I've been doing this for a long time for others. I am zeroed in on this new opportunity because it's such a cool way of it'll break down so much of this negative stigmatism around this plant and this medicine, and how we can use herbal medicine and what we get from nature and how it's so good for us. Like, I hear all this great talk about the endocannabinoid system and I'm like, I remember not too long ago, no one even knew what that was when I said it, and so it wasn't that long ago. So I'm just jazzed about what we can do, and we have a lot more of these events, and we share a lot more of this information, and I love, like I said, I'm always out there to share new insight, and I hope people, always, again, come in. We have you guys back on the show soon as well. Concierge for Better Living. It's on iHeart. It's on Spreaker. It's on Cannabis Radio. I've had some great guests lately. I had my buddy Stuart Tomp from Plus CBD Oil on the other day, and we go back 20 years or 18 years, different areas, fish oil to oregano oil. So it's not just about selling cannabis. It's about really the best products on the market that you can get to help people feel better. And that's what I think people know me for. It's just a matter of trying to, provide a better today than yesterday and a better tomorrow than today. That's kind of my slogan. So. We
appreciate you as our media partner at CANNA World Expo. You have got such talent, my friend. I sincerely appreciate the camaraderie in the industry since the very beginning. And